It is 3 in the morning, and submerged in deep darkness, Mr. Zero keeps vomiting desperately, up to bleeding. The only thing that reminds him he's alive is the intense tingling of his old heart, which does not stop beating, as if it were to explode. It appears that this will be the last time. At least that is what he wants. The strengths are just there enough to clean the tears from his face with the right sleeve of his sweater. He doesn't have anything more to expel. Therefore, he starts spitting the blood residue which remains within his mouth. His old legs slowly allow him to stand up to seek his face in the mirror. Some of the bluish light of the moon which enters into his pupils, which are enough to recreate those images. Photographs of his childhood. Memories from over half a century, which could not get erased from him. Apparently, the writer of his history penetrated his heart with permanent ink, which marked him. Decided to give out his life and determined that he would be a survivor. Condemned him to live with those labels. Once again, desperate by the alive taste in his mouth of those dirty pesticide cans, Cyclone B, he took a towel and began scrubbing his tongue and gums desperately, as if he was trying to purge himself once and for all of all his pain. Maybe it would work if he could infringe a greater one on him. It was not enough. Nothing has ever truly been enough for him. 3 hours later, still unable to fall asleep, Mr. Zero is watching the light of the sun entering the office of his mansion, while he contemplates the last photograph of his family. It is not the best memory, but it is his own. Way back on January 27, 1945, the young Peter Zero, after being rescued by the Red Army soldiers, was taken by his aunt to the land of freedom, and it was there, in the United States of America, where Peter achieved guiding his pain and rage and transformed them into decades of non-stop work, until creating a huge economical empire ingrained far and wide into the American industry. Decades later, the young Peter had been turned into the founder and sole owner of Zero Industries. Mr. Zero had a secret project. For years, and after investing hundreds of millions of dollars under the guidance of Dr. Kyung Sanada, he achieved designing and building the Cocoon. In a hidden laboratory under the Niagara Falls, he gathered an interdisciplinary team from the most selected people of the planet. Mr. Zero did not have another option for his childhood, but after this he swore himself to determine his present and his future, and never again allow others to do it for him or his beloved ones. Traveling through time was now possible. The Cocoon allows time traveling for 7 persons to any moment in the past, never the future. The future does not exist. It can only be conditioned. Dr. Sanada discovered that changing the past can cause the elimination of reality in the present. Therefore, it must be done very carefully. The key to settle things in the past is finding the precise quantum of time in the equation of unfortunate events and change it. According to Dr. Anna Middleton, traveling for the first time to Mr. Zero's childhood would be very risky. If they did not achieve affecting the correct quantum of time, they could suppress it and therefore affect his whole history. By her recommendation, it would be better to try the cocoon and its team on another shameful holocaust. It was in that moment in which Mr. Sierra pointed in the map the destination of the first trip of the cocoon. The Golden Lagoon. 500 years ago, in the south of America, the scum of the modern society at that time enlisted in the corps of the anxious conquistadors, thieves, prostitutes, slavers, and murderers. Every ex-convict which took advantage of the opportunity to steal the riches of a wonderful culture, and also, if necessary, to exterminate a whole town. Dr. Anna Middleton estimates that in that time, in the entire region, over 40 million persons died, and there were over $50 billion stolen in gold, copper, silk, and other elements. For decades, us human beings have had to survive in the shadows of those who determine our existence. We have coped with the pain, indifference, humiliation, and even death. We have seen a select few who have access to the resources and power required to govern in their own benefit, savages delirious by the madness of power and greed. But it was now our turn. Every man or woman can declare themselves free to build their own history, and will have the opportunity to claim their dignity, what is theirs by right, and settle pending debts in their history.
Only you, Kickstarters, will have access to the game portal with the entire history of the Quantum of Time and its first chapter, The Golden Lagoon, the biography of each one of the characters. You will also have access to the behind the scenes of the whole creative process through images of the first drawings, takes of the real lagoon and the real Golden City, interviews with the illustrators and the worked team of the game. A video documentary will be provided on a weekly basis with parts of the real history of the period of conquest, interviews with experts, and only you, Kickstarter, can enjoy the full history. So then you can settle the debts of the past.